everybody, Justin Worden, and you are watching What's New in Electronics. We are here at IPC Apex in Anaheim, California, 2024. I'm with Mike Konrad of Aqueous Technology, man. How did I get you in that seat?
I don't know. I've never sat in this seat before. I've always sat in your seat, so this is kind of strange.
I think I'm supposed to be promoting this seat, but I don't know. But anyways, let's talk about what's new in electronics. So, with you, you are a co-founder of a cleaning company. You manufacture some of the industry's top cleaning equipment, but that's not what I want to talk to you about.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
No one's going to watch that video.
No one's going to care.
But when I think of what's new in electronics, I think of what you and I are doing right here. Yep. Content creation, using technology to promote your business in a little bit of a different way.
Yeah, I think that, you look at two generations of people in our industry. There's
you
my
and me?
generation and you. Yeah, the young punk you. Yeah. I'm convinced that whenever you start any sentence with kids these days, you've immediately become your father, right? So I'm my father now, kids these days. But if you think about the people who are moving up quickly through the ranks, it's millennials and even Gen Zers are stepping into that world. And they're going to be the decision makers if they're not already for their company. And how do they buy? They don't look at ads. They don't listen to claims. They like to research. They say the young people's faces are always in phones, and that may be true. But they're not always TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat. They are researching things. They like to discover on their own what solutions are. So what are they looking for? Content. The people who are subject matter experts within corporations are retiring at an alarming rate, and they're not being replaced with subject matter experts, right? They're just not, companies aren't investing in that anymore. So where do you find content? Well, you can go to the suppliers. Well, that's a little dangerous sometimes because it's the fox guarding the hen house in some cases.
I know nothing about that.
Nothing about that, neither do I. But so I think it's just really important to provide education, to provide value. If you're in front of a lectern, if you're in front of a camera, if you're writing a paper, make it not about your product. Make it about the customer's issues and what best practice solutions are to solve those issues. And our customers are smart. They're all, mostly technicians and engineers and scientists. They can draw the lines. And if you're selling a product or a service that provides a solution to something, stop talking about your product. Start talking about the problem and what solutions in general are. They will figure out you have a solution. So to me, it's all about providing value.
Well, it's providing value, but education is a great way of selling. People
Absolutely.
think education and teaching is not selling, and I look at it the exact opposite. I walk around this floor and I think I see so much of the marketing materials that some of these companies put out, but they're all trying to hide their secret. Like
right.
this is mine.
Right.
But everyone's doing the same thing. All these machines kind of look the same and are doing the same thing.
Well, we committed several years ago to an education model because we did our company's 33 years old now. So, we've done the trade show circuits. In fact, my first trade show in this convention center was in 1985. Yes, there was a 1985, Justin. There was a world before you. So I've been doing this a long time, as have many people, and it's just, at some point we just realized this is insanity. It's just not working anymore, right? We need to do something different. So we made a commitment to education, as have, like you have and a few others, and educated people make educated choices. So instead of talking about your product, educate, provide value.
There's another side of this coin that I like to talk about, and you and I, we play a pretty active role in the SMTA. Very active role in the SMTA, and I've heard you present on this recently, and I gave a talk about it too. You have to be a chameleon to the person you're trying to talk to. There's one thing about delivering information, it's also delivering in a way that they want to receive it.
Right. So it's not about what we say, it's about what they receive. You're absolutely right. And there are different ways that different generations and different people within those generations prefer to receive their content. Some are kinesthetic, some are visual, some are audio. And the nice thing about the time we live in today, it's remarkably inexpensive. It doesn't take a lot of effort. I mean, you still have to know what you're doing, but the barrier to providing high value production video like you're seeing here, and online content and webinar technology and all that, it's so easy today and it's inexpensive today. And
it's not that easy, otherwise these marketing companies wouldn't be around.
Well, yeah, I mean, people who do it say it's easy. People who speak German think German's easy. I think German's an incredibly hard language to learn. But the barrier to entry is the lowest it's ever been in years and years and years. If an old guy like me can figure it out, you were born already knowing it. If an old guy like me and others can figure that out, then there's hope for the industry, because the young people learn differently.
Well, I think one fear that people have is they look at the way you and I do our production and look at, we'll post a photo of what we're doing here. We got cameras, we got lights, we got cool microphones. But the reality is, and you pointed that out in one of your recent presentations, your iPhone, your Samsung S2000 is going to put out the best content possible.
Oh yeah. Yeah, in some respects, I'm looking at, the audience can't see it because they're looking through it, but there's some high-end camera gear in front of me. In some respects, your iPhone 15 or your Samsung whatever it can rival that, right? And maybe not in every environment. I look at our camera guy going, my stuff's better, but you've got a Hollywood production in your back pocket.
Absolutely, and we're talking, to make sure we're clear, when we talk about that, we're talking about short form content. This is like a medium form. This isn't one of Mike's 17-hour podcasts. I'm talking about the little selfies. I did a quick little selfie on my cell phone, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
I think I got 1,000 views already online, right? But I want to get away from the content creation. I want to get back to what we mentioned earlier about providing information in a way people receive it. So many times I talk with some sales guys or people that are struggling to move the needle in the sales, and they're like, well, so-and-so didn't call me back. So-and-so hasn't replied to my email. And then I have one question. How long has so-and-so been working there? Oh, they're brand new. They probably don't talk on the phone.
No.
And you know what I do? Give me their number. I'll send them a text. You get a reply almost immediately.
Yeah. Speaking of phones, sorry about that. If the audience can hear that. Can you hear that in your ear? Yeah, so that's a cell phone going off. That's the old guy not muting his phone. But to the point, it was actually well-timed, because if I am talking to anyone less than 40 years old, I will never leave a voicemail. Because what happens is they go, hey, yeah, so-and-so, Mike, I see you called. I'm like, oh yeah, did you get the message? Well, no, I just had a missed call. Well, I left you a detailed message. Oh, I don't listen to detailed messages. So text is a good tool. Email can or cannot be. It just depends on generational things and personal preference. But the whole idea is to create content that is available and understandable and receivable and accessible through whatever medium they want. So when we do content, it goes out. I don't do live. I'm not brave like you. I don't like live stuff. I like edited stuff. But we put it out on multiple channels, audio only for the podcast, visual for the same podcast, depending on who. Some people like to see who they're hearing. Some people just like to hear it on the treadmill or in the car. But either way, you have to create the proper venue for the person to receive it, and that all depends on, how they run their life, and some cases their demographic, in some cases just personal preference. But fortunately, it's easy, and every company can do that. I think if every company in our industry committed to educating, they would see their sales soar, because the rules that worked for the last 30 or 40 years don't work as well today, and pretty soon they won't work at all.
Well, I think we can sum it up with this. People want to buy from people that know what they're talking about. They don't want to buy from someone that just knows their product.
Yeah, I hesitate to use this word, influencer, because that has a lot of negative connotations, right? I'm not talking about Kardashians. I'm not talking about Mr. Beast. I'm not talking about, Joe Rogan. All very successful influencers. But you need to be influential within your space. So if you're talking about a certain subject and that's all you talk about, and you'll get a reputation, and you will become an influencer, right? Because people will trust what you're saying, because you're not trying to sell them something, you're trying to provide educational value. And I think if we stick with that for long enough, it's not a short road, it's a long road, then one can be known as a trusted source, and by definition, you're kind of an influencer, as rotten as that word is, because it's the same word we apply to TikTok, viral people. But
some of them are making pretty good money.
Good for them. Yeah. I don't know how much value they're providing to the world, other than some good laughs. But at any rate, I think we need to know who the influencers are at the companies we're trying to sell to, and they're frequently younger and younger, as we talked about, and they're looking for influencers because that's how they know how to buy. And I've heard it described that my generation are technology immigrants. We had to learn technology. It wasn't there when we were born. Your generation are technology natives. You were born with tech. So the younger people born with tech, that's their go-to. Not necessarily opening up a magazine, a trade magazine, and looking for ads that say we're the best. They don't even see that. They have spam filters in their head that just make it invisible.
What's a magazine?
Yes, right, exactly.
Actually, I have bad memories of magazines, but we're not going to go down that path, Mike.
You know what happens? What happens at the trade show stays at the trade show.
But let's sum this up. I mean, whether you're looking to get a cleaner, but you don't spend too much time talking about that these days, or you just want some industry knowledge, maybe you want to learn how to get more involved with the SMTA, or you just want to know how to create the right content for your business, how can they get a hold of you?
Mike at MikeKonrad.com. That's Konrad with a K. That's one of many, but that's the easiest one to find me.
All right, man. Thank you so much for the time.
Good seeing you, Justin.